One dark night in Aleppo, Alima decided to flee. She has been worrying about her 2 children being wounded, raped, or killed since months. This was not home anymore. She was surrounded by destruction, and she had to protect this inner space, which was still alive and gave her meaning, to be a mother and to provide a future for her children. So she had no other option but to leave everything behind, what was meaningful to her and what she ever knew, and to seek safety from the bombs and violence around her in another country, where she was determined to build a new life. We are currently seeing millions of people being uprooted by war, persecution, and poverty. And we have no other moral option, and we have a moral obligation to embrace the humanity which is right in front of us. Fortunately, there are many people here, many civilians who help, and there are many wonderful and promising ideas and concepts. However, today I would like to talk to you about an underlying truth which is very important for integration. And this truth is someone who is living in a refugee camp likely feels depressed, disempowered and disengaged, and has no emotional resources, therefore, to integrate into a new society. Like Alima. She arrived in a new country, and it was surprisingly different from what she had imagined, from the color of the sky to the smell of the food. And furthermore, she was surrounded by many strangers, with basically no space for privacy, being squeezed into a tight facility, which was especially unsettling for someone coming from a culture which clearly separates private and public life. All of a sudden, all her determination to provide a better future for her children evaporated. She was confused and isolated, and all strength which had carried her to Germany was used up. She could not get up again, she could not care for her children again, and she could neither feel herself nor her children. And she was asking herself, who am I today in this world as a Syrian woman, a mother, a teacher, in Berlin-Kreuzberg, in a refugee camp, in bed number 189. And not only she is asking this question, but many others do too. We are, as many as I think half of the refugees arriving here, according to a study released by Germany's Chamber of Psychotherapists, are facing psychological issues. Refugees who are coming to Europe and to Germany, they are experiencing stress, depression, and they suffer from consequences of traumatic experiences. 40%, so the study says, already had suicidal thoughts, and only 4% living in centers are receiving mental health support. So after risking their lives to come here, many refugees share the same experience, which is a loss of identity and a loss of sense of purpose, and having no emotional strength left to cope and to integrate themselves. So we are facing a massive mental health crisis among the refugees, and this is a critical barrier for integration. Treating refugees as mental health patients is not enough. If we want to have 1 million people actively becoming active members of our society, we have to take a change of perspective. We have to empower them. We have to empower them to become the agents of their own integration. I am a psychoanalyst from Germany, and I'm here with a backpack full of experiences, insights, and lessons learned from Afghanistan, where, over the course of the last 12 years, my team and I have built an organization which has created an alternative way of addressing mental health issues. A psychosocial counseling approach, training Afghans to help their fellow Afghans. In Afghanistan, 66% of people coming to a public health facility show symptoms of fear, anxiety, or depression. We learned quickly that for people who have these mental health problems, and those problems are being caused by political or social stress, being diagnosed as depressed is not helpful. It's not a solution. So we had to understand the meaning of the symptom. Experiences of violence, of loss of loved ones, of loss of house, of land, of trust, a high level of stress in everyday life, and a rapidly changing world which had clear rules and values into a modern world which is fueled by digital globalization. All that left people powerless, victimized, and very often they could not even express what they felt. Very often also they felt just ashamed. We wanted to change that. We wanted to empower people to help themselves with the help of a counselor who was one of them. And over the course of the last 12 years, with the help of Caritas International, the German Foreign Office, and the European Union, we were able to train 350 psychosocial counselors, each over the course of 1 year. These counselors were placed in health facilities all over the country to support the public health system in 34 provinces, and only in the last 2 years they helped 110,000 people in individual talks. As a next step, we launched a video online platform which allowed people to have access even if they lived far away, or if they wanted to protect their own anonymity, or for those for whom an in-person appointment was too much of a social barrier. So our online platform helped to break isolation and to overcome shame and stigmatization. So let me sum up the 3 things we learned in Afghanistan. First, people who receive a basic 1-year psychosocial training and who are motivated to work as a psychosocial counselor can have a significant impact on the well-being of others. Second, it has been proven to be very effective when the counselors share the same cultural background and speak the same language. And third, we built a nimble, low-tech solution that can scale quickly. We developed internet facilities for people, and people have access through an app on their smartphone. Now, can you see how this could work in Germany? Think of Alima. What she needs now is a quick, low-barrier access to care to someone who really, truly understands her and who shares her cultural values and her language. Our solution provides her with a counselor who has been trained to meet another person with unconditional regard, with a non-judgmental attitude, with an authentic interest, with empathy, and with clear analytical skills to look and analyze her personal situation. Again and again, we receive the same feedback from people like Alima, saying, because you have felt me, I can feel myself again. And you see, this reconnection with the own self is the first step to overcome this constant feeling of being powerless. In the next step, then, together, looking at the situation, what it has done to you, to your feelings, opens up a space inside where people get access again to their own resources and are able to take influence in their lives. So empathy and consciousness, it needs both. And another person, a psychosocial counselor. So imagine, if we could deliver this service not only to Alima, but to hundreds and thousands of refugees. And if we could deliver it online and in person. I believe what we have developed in Afghanistan could also work here. In Afghanistan, we trained Afghans to help their fellow Afghans, and in Germany, we will train refugees to help other refugees. Our solution uses technology to utilize the most powerful resource we have, the human being. We create a safe space which fosters intimate human connections. Empathy for all those who are strangers in a strange land. A new marketplace which connects those who care with those who seek care. An empathy engine at scale. Sometimes you have to travel far away to find out a very simple truth and to feel that as well. So, I had to travel from Germany to Afghanistan, and I realized big problems sometimes have very small solutions. Feeling the other. Empathy with a desire and the possibility to help is at the heart of our civilization. In a time where we are confronted daily, today also, with terrorism, extremism, insecurities. This is the smallest, and for that very reason, the most powerful unit of peace. Thank you.